What are the top 5 tanks that are long awaited in War Thunder in Cold War and onwards, so highest ranks possible? Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. And just like I did a video yesterday talking about some aircraft that are long awaited, today we're going to talk about some tanks that are awaited to come in the top ranks of War Thunder. I'm not talking about World War II and stuff. If you want to, and leave it in the comments, by the way, I can do a video with World War II in mind. But the idea is at least semi-modern vehicles over here. So yeah, let's get into it. I don't want this video to be too long. Well, the first one is kind of a... it's already a kick in the door. I gotta be honest. The Armata, of course. Although a lot of people hate this tank and don't want it to be added to the game, a lot of people love it and really want it. It's a really dividing thing in the community, I think. And eventually, probably we will see some form of Armata being added. Prototype of some sort, or pre-production model, or I don't know. It's a very iconic tank, but at the same time, it's problematic to add because there's a lot of propaganda, there is problematic stats on this tank, so it would be a weird tank to be added. But no matter what, a lot of people long await for DT14. So yeah, this would be the first one. The second one would be M1A2, SEP V3 and V4, of course, guys, and we can even kind of include the M1A2T over here as well, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a SEP V3 as well for China, right? New versions of the Abrams in general. Although the SEP V2 that we do have in game, it is indeed an improvement over the older models that we have in the game. It's still, I would say, lacking a little bit. Not that the SEP V3 and V4 would bring anything too crazy to the table. Remember, Gaijin is using ammunitions to actually balance the game out. So just because the V3 and V4 would be added, it doesn't mean that we would see one of the most modern ammunitions that this tank uses, right? So at the end of the day, it would be very similar to the SEP V3 in a general sense of the gameplay wise kind of situation. But at least it would be more Abrams for you to spawn, right? Which would be helpful. So yeah, this is the second one in my opinion. A lot of people ask for this tank, and yeah, I think it should be added as well. The third one is another American tank, the LAV-25. I already added this to the tanks that should have been added a long time ago, because honestly it should have been. But yeah, a lot of people ask for this tank. I honestly don't know, just like I said in that other video when I included that tank. I really don't understand why the LAV was never added yet. It's not an OP tank by any means. It's very similar to a tank that is already in the game, so the model is almost finished. So why not, right? Maybe we will see it in the next patch, hopefully soon. This is a very good tank and very fun tank actually, from the times of Battlefield 3, if you played that game, or many other games as well, right? And continuing with the wheeled vehicles, we have another Russian one, and that would be the BTR-90A as well, another vehicle that a lot of people ask for. The armament is pretty much the same as the BMP-2, so again, no reason why this tank was not added. Of course, there's always the factor that, these two, notice how there were 2 Soviet tanks or Russian tanks and 2 American tanks, right? And that's just because they have a lot more options to be added, and it's just easier to find gaps that people would want something in it in these 2 nations, right? So that's probably why these tanks were not added, the LAV and the BTR, because they're not really needed right now, because the US and USSR are one of the best nations in the sense of adding stuff up, so additions and stuff. It's one of the, it's just 2 bigger nations on that regard, right? So the BTR, although wouldn't be OP, the LAV wouldn't be OP. They both are tanks that Gaijin just didn't add for some reason, right? Maybe because there's not a need for them, maybe because of other reasons, but still, it is interesting to not see these 2 things. And last but not least, I see a lot of people asking for this tank, and I kind of agree. I honestly want this tank as well. I'm in the procedure of grinding all the tech trees for tanks as well, so this tank would actually be very, very fun to have it. And it's the normal 2A7, probably the plus variant for Hungary, right? So for Italy. It's a nation that really, really needs more MBTs, and the 2A7 for them would make a lot of sense. So yeah, a lot of people are asking for this vehicle, and honestly I think they should add it as soon as possible, because it is indeed a tech tree that, although the Arietis can do well sometimes, I mean, a Leopard 2A7 would really help that tech tree, right? They only have one 11.7, and it's an Ariete, which is a very easy tank to kill, so a 2A7 would be a very, very, very powerful tank to be added. Of course, include here the M1A2 as well, for China as well. That would be interesting. Not that they need anything there, but again, it's another tank that should be added. And these are the top 5 tanks that I think people are most waiting for in the top ranks of War Thunder. Again, if you want a video like this for World War II or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I can always do one. It's not really my expertise era, not that I have one, but you know, I can do one. I can do the research and stuff and do one for World War II, especially for aircraft. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what do you think is your top 5 most awaited aircraft that you think are the most awaited tanks, not aircraft, tanks in the game that you think the community long awaits for it, right? See ya guys.